Yes, for industrialization. All right, so we want now to go back to our top story this morning. And like I mentioned earlier, in what may be seen as a last-ditch attempt to prevent an imminent fallout in the National Super Alliance coalition, opposition leader Raila Odinga is today set to meet senators from the coalition in a bid to have Bungoma Senator Moses Wetangula reinstated as a minority leader in the Senate. Wetangula's ouster is already causing ripples in the coalition, likely with the other three constituent parties threatening to form a new political outfit. Well, on News Center this morning, like I mentioned, we look at the intrigue surrounding the Bungoma Senator's ouster and the likely impact of the existence of NASA. All right, so like I mentioned, that is our top story this morning. Remember also, it's one that is taking shape on Twitter, and we have our Twitter poll, and we're asking you this morning, do you think today's NASA Senators meeting with Raila Odinga will actually save Wetangula? Will this meeting have Wetangula reinstated back as the minority leader in the Senate? We'd like to hear your thoughts on this one. Like I mentioned, quite a number of tweets coming through. Let me sample one before we proceed. And Korir Lenny, you say a big no. ODM have already resolved to replace Weta to Orengo. So meeting today is for a cup of tea. Interesting views. Keep them coming. I'll continue to sample them here on the show this morning. All right, now members of the Wiper Party, ANC and Ford Kenya are now planning to form a new alliance excluding Raila Odinga's ODM party. Members of the three parties have declared that they will forge on as the opposition party, but as Chris Tharu now reports, the three political parties face a challenge in numbers in both the Senate and the National Assembly. Take a look.
Only a day after the oust of Bungoma Senator Moses Wetangula as the Senate Minority Leader and the Summit, which is the most powerful organ in the NASA coalition, comprising of the four principals Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka, Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula, appears to remain hopeful that they can still save their core principle. And Thursday morning, the four principals are set to meet NASA senators, seeking to prevail upon them to rescind their decision. But the troops they lead are saying enough is enough, and that it will be better to split up altogether.
Now NASA has not delivered the precedents. So what are they together? For what agenda? That's my point. Why are they together? I think every party must go to its own backyard, rebuild, re-strategize, restructure, and then emerge. They can emerge stronger and even form other coalitions.
The reason why they removed Wetangula is simple. That he was arrogant. When his colleagues talked to him, he told them, I'm still going to meet with the principals.
The coalition agreement provides very clearly that in the event the three partners are dissatisfied with the conduct of other partner, they can pass resolutions to suspend or expel that partner from the coalition agreement, from the coalition.
With the apparent lack of trust among the four NASA affiliate parties after ODM senators defied calls for a ceasefire from their party leaders, members from Wiper, ANC and Ford Kenya are opting to start a new alliance.
Choices have consequences, and that means there's bad blood in between. So you can't just let things go. And these are this is an indicator to show that things are not moving on well.
If ODM is tired, it's high time that they should walk out of the coalition, because what they are doing, there is no indication that they are going to stop it.
But even as the three affiliate parties plan to forge a new political future without ODM party, they still face the challenge of numbers in both houses, given that ODM is the minority leader party.
What they are anticipating to happen, if it happens, fine. But they should remember we are still the majority party in parliament. And if they go that direction, I'll be laying a claim on Honorable Chris Wamala's position, because that was Jaco's position.
I think NASA must break. That is my view. Why? Coalitions are formed before an election so that you can win the election.
The three NASA co-principals Kalonzo Musyoka, Musalia Mudavadi and Moses Wetangula are set to organize for a political rally in Bungoma County on Saturday, less than a week after Wetangula was ousted. Chris Dairu, KTN News.
Yeah, so those are the intrigues of NASA. Remember, we'd like to hear your thoughts on this one. And like I mentioned, of course, we have our discussion here in studio. Let me introduce my guest, Caleb Amisi, who's a Saboti Member of Parliament. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
We're also expecting Dan Manzo, who is the Makwani Member of Parliament, is going to be joining us in a few minutes here on set. I've seen he's already come into the studio. So we'll be having that, and he's going to be joining us in a few minutes. But before that happens, Caleb, let me start with you. And I'll ask you the same question that we're asking online. Do you think that this meeting between Raila Odinga and the senators will actually save Wetangula and have him reinstated?
Yeah, I think in my view, it's coming a little bit too late. The senators have already made their decision in the Senate. And probably Raila has been a good man. He's been a person who extending his good heart to his co-principals. I think he'll try his best. Probably, maybe according to the standing orders, the decisions must be made by the senators themselves.
Yeah.
And Raila has become, I think, a victim of circumstances. Remember, even the swearing in was just forced by his supporters. So he has been, the kind of
really
person.
Forced?
Yes, he didn't. I don't think he wanted to be sworn in. I think it's because of the growing enthusiasm among the supporters that he must be sworn in. So he has become a captive of his supporters, both the general populace and also the leaders in the Senate and in Parliament.
All right.
Yeah.
So you think that this meeting will not really bear any fruit? Like one of our viewers said, it's maybe just to have a cup of tea and, try and
I think it
save
is.
face.
It is also to give him a chance to explain to the senator that you are my principal, you are my co-principal, and to assure him that he's not behind what is happening in the Senate, because there is a general perception that this thing is orchestrated by Raila Odinga,
Right.
well, of which we don't think that is right to give that kind of picture. So it is a meeting to assure the senator we are together. And whatever is happening in the Senate is beyond my help, or probably we'll try and solve it, something like that, to just give an assurance to the senator.
Right.
Yes.
So what really is happening then in the Senate? Because when, the reasons they're given is that, they accuse Wetangula of being high-handed. What does that mean?
I don't support Wetangula's ouster. I think you need to be very clear.
Yes,
I do
yes.
not support.
Right.
I'm an ODM member of Parliament, and he's a leader I respect.
Yes.
He's a co-principal. They've been together in NASA for a while, almost 10 years. I think the manner in which the senators also, just through Wetangula, it's not very good. Why? Because you need to be given reasons.
Yes.
Why you've been removed. Are you broken NLO? Have you gone against standing orders? Is it a case of, misuse of office or something like that? And even if there is such cases, you must also be given time to defend yourself.
Right.
So was it given time to defend himself on any allegations that was brought forth? No, there was no chance. It was just a unanimous decision that let us remove him. And remember, they're the same people who actually gave him that office.
Right.
At that time, they didn't know that 20 more than the senator. They knew that the majority, and they still gave him the position. So for you to remove him at this point in time, it's a bit mischievous.
It's mischievous.
Yes.
All right, so we'll continue the conversation shortly. And of course, like I mentioned, Dan Manzo is going to be joining us on set in a few minutes. So we'll first take a short commercial break, and we'll be back. Don't go away.